Hello! Today we look at The Mummy 4, Shameless Pandering, or as it's also known, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. Is it a good movie? No. Did it need to get made? No. Do I like Asian things and pretty girls that kick ass? Yes. So I'll give it a watch. Time for Lingering Questions, The Mummy 4, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. This movie pretty much only exists to tap into the Asian market. It was made right around the time when Hollywood noticed, hey, there's big bucks over there. Currently, that's the money that's going to pay for the next movie in the god-awful so-called reboot of the Mummy series / Start of the Dark I Don't Care. Jumping off, we get narration informing us that this is a ruthless emperor played by Jet Li. He's trying to conquer all the land, and the last free kingdoms have hired an assassin to kill him, and why do I feel like I've said this before? Oh yeah, because that's the opening plot to Scorpion King. Just because you released a second Scorpion King movie the same year, definitively making that its own series, doesn't mean you can just rinse and reuse their opening plot. Why doesn't the king have guards in his room? Or outside his room? After clear sounds of fighting, it takes forever for someone to rush in to check on the king.
He enslaved his conquered enemies and forced them to build his great wall.
Oh, so it's really this guy who built the Great Wall. That's how many builders according to Hollywood now?
The Emperor's mystics taught him mastery over the 5 elements.
If these 5 guys know everything they're teaching the king, then shouldn't they be able to overthrow him? I mean, he's clearly an evil tyrant. Or does he just pay really well?
One day, news came of a powerful witch who was rumored to know the secret to eternal life.
They didn't say it, but I heard sorceress. We get 2 more characters. General Ming, played by Russell Long. He falls for the witch, and this might not be Salem, but that's still not the best idea. And meet the witch, or Zi Yuan, as she's almost never called in this movie, played by Michelle Yeoh. Why give characters names if you're not going to use them, really? If the secret to eternal life is sitting around in some library, how has no one found it before now? And who wrote it in the first place? Why are the general's own men spying on him? I love that the Emperor says he's immortal just because he feels it. I would kind of need some proof. Why does the curse take so long to start working? And why does he let her stumble away instead of finishing her off? Why do curses always come with a clause that lets the cursed person be raised and become all-powerful? And returning once again is Brendan Fraser as Rick O'Connell, who's old now and retired and hates retired country life. Why is Rick fly fishing if he hates it so much? How is this their house? How is that anybody's house? How can they afford this? It's never stated in these movies. And they have a butler. Because of course they do. Why does Rick keep his Foreign Legion uniform assembled and hung in a closet where fishing tackle is stored? And does he really miss getting shot at in the desert? If you want nostalgia for adventure, why not have him be looking at his adventure outfit? And we have Evie, not played by Rachel Weisz, but taken up now by Maria Bello. Her Evie is subdued, to say the least, and they don't seem to have written her as much brains or charm as in the previous movies, but I put that on the script, not the performance. How did the staff not notice the bullet in the fish when preparing it? And we finally meet Alex, now played by Luke Ford. He does an okay job, and Alex is basically a younger, slightly dumber, more reckless version of Rick. Pretty much what you'd expect to be written for him, without the brains he had in the last movie. What is this expedition? How is Alex, who is all of 21, in charge of something like this? Who's funding it, and why?
You really are Rick O'Connell's son. Yeah, well.
No, he's not.
I'm ready to be inspired.
Is inspired their code word for sex? Why does Alex think someone else might be alive in the tomb? And how did the dead guy even get past the first trap? Or did someone reset the trap? And this entire chamber is suspiciously devoid of cobwebs and sand. After setting off one trap already, why doesn't the professor, I don't know, react when he obviously steps on a trip switch? Oh wait, it's not a trap, it's just very convenient lighting. Operated by footplate. Like you do. Okay, we've entered cartoon land. The multi-fire crossbows I could buy since those are based on real traps that have been found. But the flying saw blades... terrible all round. Terrible idea, terrible CGI, and terrible aim as they only kill people who are not in the main credits. Why does Alex try to go back for the two obviously dead guys? He was with one of them when he died and has obviously left him behind. What is this? Why? Filler.
You don't think some bloody grave robbers beat us to the prize, do you?
How does the compass being here prove no one's been here before you? And clearly someone has. You found him dead. How does Alex not break his back at the very least in that ball? If the Emperor is hidden below to keep him safe, then why are all his men facing towards the exact place where he is, giving away his position? Kinda nullifies the safety. How did the Emperor leave instructions to have his concubines, etc. buried with him? And do not tell me he had standing orders. He planned to become immortal. That guy did not have a will. Look, a ninja! Look, Asia, look! This is Lynn, played by Isabella Leong. She kicks ass some of the time and disappears when the main stars need more screen time. She's mainly in this movie to fall in love with Alex. Why did she run off? Why did she come alone? Why let them get this far into the tomb before trying to stop them? And while it's tempting to think that it might have been Lynn and the witch, who as we find out is her mother, that brought the army here to hide it, and that they set all these traps and that they reset them after somebody finds it and gets killed, I call no way for two reasons. One, the buried alive concubines, and two, if they wanted him never found, why is there a system to raise the Emperor? In fact, why have they not disabled that? When were they in the espionage game? And shouldn't that have given her plenty of ideas for books?
Rick and I, we made a promise to each other after the war that we would settle down.
That's right, yeah, we did, didn't we?
That's it.
Why did they make this promise to each other to settle down if it's clearly making both of them miserable? Why has Jonathan opened an Egyptian-themed nightclub in China? Oh yeah, the pandering. And of course it's Chinese New Year, because that's the only holiday the Chinese have. Hi, returning John Hannah as Jonathan. Glad you could make it to the cash grab. Would an Egyptian-themed bar in China really be this popular?
Mad Dog McGuire?
Ricochet O'Connell.
Of course the person who wants to beat up Rick's son is an old dear friend.
Sit down and discuss this like a family.
No offense, Mom, but we haven't been a family in a long time.
This is both true and makes no sense. The last movie, Rick and Evie both risked their lives, and in Evie's case actually died to protect Alex. How does that family wind up breaking apart and having this huge rift between them all?
我康那一家人已经到上海了。
他们拿到神典了吗？
是的，我们的线人已经证实这件事了。
Okay, now I'm supposed to believe that between movies, the O'Connells became world-class spies for England, and even though they're spies and that implies a certain covertness, somehow their names and faces are known all over the world enough that bad guys keep track of their movements. That seems to contradict itself. And meet General Yang and female underling played by Anthony Wong and Jessie Ming respectively. Someday movies must explain why cults/armies form to worship long-dead bad guys. How do Rick and Evie not already know about Alex's discovery? There's been time to have the whole thing dug up and moved to another location, and it's about to be revealed to the public. So ace archaeologists like Rick and Evie would definitely already know about it. Why is Ling dressed in a flowing, flowery coat if she's trying to sneak around? Why is Rick casually tossing a priceless relic around? Okay, movie, I have to hate on you just a little bit here, because you have taken funny, witty, charming Rick and turned him into an asshole. Okay, so the professor turns out to be evil, and he's the one working with the army/cult, whatever, that worship the Emperor. But then why didn't they just take possession of the Terracotta Army as soon as it was found? We're told they were the ones funding the dig, so they know the second that it was found, and if they were financing the dig, then they kind of have the rights to what's found there.
Read the inscription.
Why do they need Evie to read it? And since when does Evie read ancient Chinese? She was an Egypt expert. Why is Lynn just standing there? And if they can hear the people below, then the people below can definitely hear Lynn and Alex. Don't get me started on the pure heart crap. I'm saving that for a Paper Mario rant. This is cool, and some very nice effects. But a few questions, if I may. Where do the little gold snakes go? And who put the water in the egg, and why? And since obviously someone had to find Shangri-La to get the water to put in the egg, does that mean there's another immortal person walking around somewhere? And why would you make something that can raise an all-powerful evil warlord? And if Ling and her mom knew about the egg that could raise the warlord, why didn't they steal it or destroy it a long, long time ago? Why does Lynn stab what she believes to be the Emperor before he's even risen? This would do nothing. If the body in the coffin is meant to be believed as the Emperor's, why is it wearing a big medallion that says it's not? Why are the horses obviously metal if this is the Terracotta Army?
Here we go again.
And Rick just broke the cliché-o-meter.
皇上，我是来保护你的，我能帮你获得永生。
你说说我，真是笑死你。
See? This guy clearly understands and speaks ancient Chinese. So why didn't he read the egg? Why does the professor try to go with the Emperor instead of just running off some other way? Did they really just need a cheap way to kill him? Would anyone have asked what happened to him if we just never saw him for the rest of the movie? Well, okay, yes, people like me would, but still, this is dumb. Why is Jonathan trying to tell the Emperor's carriage to move over? There's funny, and then there's dumb. Please stop confusing the two. Lynn says they need to turn the Emperor around. Turn him around to where? Back to the warehouse/museum they were in? Why does turning him around do any good? Why does Rick think setting off fireworks will do any good? They are not missiles. They have no projectiles, and they can't really be aimed like this. No one firework is strong enough to lift that bus, and clearly there's multiple fireworks going off under it. Jonathan is on fire for a long time, yet he doesn't know until Rick tells him. Though points for getting this line past the censors. What is Alex's shirt made out of if it can sustain getting dragged across the pavement for several seconds and not even be dirty? Why does Rick jump on one of the horses that the Emperor is in control of? He has no idea how to stop the Emperor, so why are they even chasing him right now? Why not regroup and come up with an actual plan? And how can Rick control the horse? Cutting it loose does nothing. It's not a real horse. It's a statue horse being brought to life by magic that the Emperor controls. Stop it with the father and son bullshit. They aren't even father and son, and it's not funny. Wow, he's got plot armor pants too. Yeah, Alex definitely saw her get shot point blank in the chest, and given that the movie has mentioned the Fountain of Youth several times by now, Alex should instantly put together what's going on. How does everyone survive their various crashes, and how do they all find each other again so quickly? Why does Alex even try to front like he was about to kill the Emperor? Alex has never killed the undead. And yes, I will call the Emperor the undead and not a mummy, because he's not a mummy. And Alex didn't even know how to kill him at this point.
buggers get superpowers.
So did Imhotep. Twice. And the Scorpion King. What is this curse on the knife? And who wrote it? And why? Did they know the first curse would be used, so they wrote a way to stop it? This is what I mean about not writing resurrection all-powerful clauses into your curses. Why is Evie acting so suspicious of what Lynn is saying? With everything she's been through, she should be able to accept all of this easily. Especially given that she's already seen the Emperor. Lynn is the only one that seems to know anything about what they're dealing with. So why is nobody listening to her? And the whole Evie overprotective mom thing, it's just awful. I think the family squabbling is supposed to be the comedy parts of the movie, but it's played way too straight and the dialogue just isn't funny. I'm so over it.
Well, any self-respecting pilot would land on the valley floor, but I don't have any self-respect, so I'll put you down halfway up the mountain.
For the third movie, Rick conveniently knows someone with air transport, who just happens to be in the same place he is. And he just happens to have his plane with him in China. Why is there a yak? There's a reason you don't have unsecured livestock on a plane. Lynn totally knows where Shangri-La is. This whole point me side quest is just filler. Once the Emperor arrives at the mountain, why doesn't he use his ice powers to just lift them right to where they want to be? If the gate to Shangri-La is so easy to get to and so obvious when you find it, why haven't many people been to Shangri-La? And yes, I know, you need the diamond to point the way, but various people have had the diamond for centuries. The movie is expecting you to believe nobody ever looked for this place. This is what happens when you make the plot up as you go along.
Alright, just don't put much faith in your girlfriend's magic dagger.
Okay, if I'm Lynn, I'm extremely pissed off at this point. Everyone has not only assumed from the moment she showed up that she and Alex were instantly a thing, now they're actually calling her his girlfriend, and Rick should believe in the power of the dagger, especially since he literally just got finished talking about how much experience he has with curses. Rick says he put down Imhotep twice, but in fact, he put down Imhotep once, and the Scorpion King once, and Imhotep committed suicide the second time. It feels like there was some unwritten rule that they weren't allowed to mention the Scorpion King. If Lynn can summon Yetis to help them, why didn't she do this before the Emperor arrived? Have the Yetis stand guard, set up a perimeter, barricade them in. You know, something useful. If the Emperor needs the tower to find Shangri-La, why hasn't Lynn destroyed it long before now? Or at least cut off the piece that holds the diamond, jeez. Dumping snow on a lit fuse would do fuck all to put it out. Where did the dynamite go? Just because it didn't go boom doesn't mean it magically disappears. It would have taken them weeks/months to walk that far. Rick would never have survived that journey, and what exactly are they supposed to be eating and drinking out here? See? Lynn's mother lives at Shangri-La, so don't tell me Lynn doesn't know exactly how to get there. She is 2,000 years old. I think she's been there and back probably hundreds of times. The Point Me side quest is nothing but pointless padding, and with this movie coming in at over 2 hours, it would have been much better served without that and being a more brisk 90 minutes. Why does the Emperor need to become immortal right now? Why does he have to be immortal before the rest of his army will raise? Why doesn't he start using the powers he already has to conquer some things and fortify his position? Why does it take so long for Rick to revive and wake up? And why does healing by magic still leave scars? I cannot care about this father-son BS anymore. How does one give up their immortality? And after one blast, 2 immortal beings are so badly hurt they can't stand up. Out of which of the 5 elements does the Emperor get transmogrification powers? Lynn and the Witch are magically fine. So are their clothes.
That dog can outfly a 3-headed lizard any day of the week. Let's go.
No, he can't. And why is the Emperor so slow? Why does the Emperor need to return to the tomb to raise the army? This is the most complicated curse ever. Why are there convenient ramparts for the army to march out of? And what is this crossing the Great Wall bullshit? This is clearly just more padding. And again, why has somebody not just smashed them all before now? Lynn clearly knew where they were if she knew how to get into the tomb without getting hit by the traps. So why did she not just destroy the whole thing centuries ago? Why does the Emperor waste time giving a motivational speech to an undead terracotta army that he literally controls through magic? If all these people were buried under the Great Wall to hold it up, why doesn't it crumble when they rise from the dead? Where does the undead the witch raises get their weapons from? They would in no way have been buried with those. Why are we watching two undead armies fight? The fact that they're both undead kind of defeats the purpose. Why are the living army/cult people engaging in this battle? Why not hang back until the Emperor crosses the Great Wall and becomes unstoppable? If the Emperor wants General Ming, why does he stop his pursuit of him to go after the witch?
Die, you mummy bastards! Die!
These are not mummies, stop calling them that! When did this movie get so cliched that it started feeling predictable? It really does towards the end. What is this place? How is it so clean? And why does the Emperor suddenly have power over his enemies again? This feels like cheating. Shooting mummies and terracotta figures is one thing, but shooting balls of literal, mystical power, and it works! Once he has the knife back, why does the Emperor stupidly throw it at Rick? That's the same mistake Emotep made. Why does the Emperor fall for the, hey, fight like a man thing? And how does he understand Rick speaking English? Suddenly Alex is so strong he can stab through armor with a broken piece of blade with no handle, and no he isn't. Why is Lynn the person sworn to stop the Emperor who has dedicated more than 2,000 years of her life to doing just that, completely absent from the final confrontation?
Someone told me to stop living on the sidelines.
Well, he sounds like a smart guy.
He is.
And of course, Lynn and Alex will live happily ever after just because everyone else decided that they would. Yay! So that's the end of the movie, but not the end of this review. The music early on, while it's intended to be funny, comes across as more irritating. You can't make up for a lack of funny dialogue with cartoon music. However, that does seem to be limited to the beginning of the movie, because afterwards the music is well chosen and suited to what it should be doing, which is elevating the movie instead of overtaking it. While there is a massive amount of CGI in this movie, I will say that it is very well done. Whatever the script might be lacking, the CGI is not. It looks amazing. To do the look of the terracotta warriors, of their being made out of, terracotta and stone and iron, and to have that be able to break apart and show the cracks and the molten lava of the horses, and have them move in very realistic ways, but you still believe that they are living statues. It was an effect carried off very well, and to see it on such a massive scale, hats off to them. The acting is solid all around. The only questionable moments are some script choices and some very cliche writing. The sets and the costumes are beautiful. They are very well detailed. The colors are rich and bold. You really do get into this world of 1940s China. So, good job there. Now for... We'll start with a Snorlax award for the shameless plot rinse and reuse, as well as the breaking the cliché-o-meter. Then it's Out Out, Damn Spot, for bloodless stabbing and even bloodless dismemberment. And then we have 2, My Name Is... for the witch, who doesn't get a name for more than 80 minutes into the movie, and for the female underling, so lacking a name, I had to check IMDb to see if she even has one. A Good Day to Die, also for the female underling choosing to get crushed with General Yang instead of running away. We get a Rumpelstiltskin award for the Emperor, who after becoming immortal, being able to wield the powers of the elements and change into mythical creatures, uses absolutely none of those powers to win and is soundly defeated. I am Supergirl for the witch. She takes down the Emperor twice and rocks some serious spellcraft. You go, girl.